The air crackled with anticipation. It was Game 7. The culmination of months of hard work, sweat, and determination had led to this very moment. Fans from both sides filled the arena, their faces painted with the colors of their beloved teams, their voices hoarse from cheering and chanting. The energy in the building was electric, almost tangible, as if the very walls were vibrating with excitement. The Houston Rockets and Golden State Warriors were locked in a fierce battle for a spot in the Western Conference semifinals. Each possession was a war, each basket a hard-fought victory. The players moved with a sense of urgency, knowing that a single mistake could spell the end of their season. The coaches paced the sidelines, their faces etched with concentration and anxiety, barking out instructions and encouragement. The series had been a roller coaster. Both teams had experienced the highs of victory and the lows of defeat. The Rockets had clawed their way back from the brink of elimination, refusing to go quietly into the night. The Warriors, on the other hand, had shown flashes of their championship form, but had also been plagued by inconsistency and injuries. The Warriors, led by their veteran core, initially jumped out to a commanding 3-1 lead. With Stephen Curry orchestrating the offense and Draymond Green anchoring the defense, they looked every bit the dominant force that had won multiple championships in recent years. Their ball movement was crisp, their shooting precise, and their defense suffocating. They had looked poised to make quick work of the younger Rockets. The confidence in their eyes was unmistakable, and their fans were already dreaming of another deep playoff run. But basketball is a game of runs, and the Rockets were not about to roll over. But the Rockets had other plans. Led by their dynamic backcourt and a never-say-die attitude, they stormed back to win the next 2 games, forcing a decisive Game 7. Their resilience and grit had won them the admiration of fans and pundits alike. This game was more than just a deciding matchup. It was a test of wills, a battle of mental and physical endurance. The players knew that legacies were on the line, that this game would be remembered for years to come. The pressure was immense, but so was the opportunity. It was a clash of legacies. The Warriors, with their championship pedigree, were looking to prove they still had the heart of champions. They wanted to show that their time at the top was not over, that they still had the fire and the fight to compete with the best. The Warriors, with their championship pedigree, were looking to prove they still had the heart of champions. They wanted to show that their time at the top was not over, that they still had the fire and the fight to compete with the best. Their journey had been marked by triumphs and setbacks, but their resolve remained unshaken. The Rockets, on the other hand, were eager to establish themselves as a force to be reckoned with. They wanted to prove that their recent playoff disappointments were behind them, that they had the talent and the tenacity to go toe-to-toe with the league's elite. Their young stars were hungry, their veterans determined, and their coach had instilled a belief that anything was possible. They wanted to show the league that their recent playoff disappointments were behind them. The tension was palpable. Every dribble, every pass, every shot was magnified. The crowd's roars and gasps echoed through the arena, a symphony of passion and tension. This was more than a game. It was a moment of truth for both teams. The Rockets, fueled by their home crowd, had stormed back to tie the series at 3-3. The energy in the stadium was electric, with fans on their feet, waving banners, and chanting in unison. It was a scene of pure exhilaration, a testament to the unwavering support of the Rockets' faithful. The players fed off this energy, their every move cheered on by the roaring crowd. It was a night to remember, a night where the Rockets showed their resilience and determination. They stole Game 5 in San Francisco, a game that many had written off as a sure win for the Warriors. The Rockets played with a chip on their shoulder, every player stepping up when it mattered most. The bench erupted with every crucial shot, the camaraderie and unity of the team on full display. It was a hard-fought victory, one that shifted the momentum of the series, then followed it up with a dominant performance in Game 6 back in Houston. The Rockets were firing on all cylinders, their offense clicking, and their defense stifling. The players high-fived each other after every successful play, their confidence growing with each passing minute. It was a statement game, one that showed the league that the Rockets were a force to be reckoned with. This young Rockets team, led by the dynamic backcourt of Jalen Green and Scoot Henderson, suddenly seemed invincible. Green's explosive drives to the basket and Henderson's sharpshooting from beyond the arc were a nightmare for the Warriors' defense. The duo played with a fearlessness that belied their age, their chemistry on the court, a joy to watch. They were the heart and soul of the Rockets' resurgence. Their confidence was soaring, and they had the momentum. The team huddled with intense focus, their eyes set on the prize. Every player knew their role, and they executed the game plan to perfection. The Rockets were a team on a mission, their belief in each other unshakable. They played with a swagger, a confidence that came from knowing they had overcome the odds. The Warriors, meanwhile, were suddenly facing down the demons of playoffs past. The pressure was mounting and the cracks were beginning to show. The players looked concerned, their usual composure shaken. The coach huddled with his players, trying to rally them, but the doubt was creeping in. The Warriors were in uncharted territory, and the ghosts of past failures loomed large. Memories of blown 3-1 leads resurfaced. The fans, usually so confident, now wore worried expressions. The players, too, seemed to be haunted by the past, their body language betraying their inner turmoil. It was a stark contrast to the confident, dominant team that had started the series. The Warriors were on the brink, and the fear of history repeating itself was palpable. The most haunting of these was the 2016 NBA Finals, where they infamously squandered a 3-1 lead to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. That series had left a scar on the franchise, a painful reminder of how quickly things could unravel. The images of LeBron celebrating and the Warriors looking defeated were seared into the memories of fans and players alike. It was a cautionary tale, one that hung over the team like a dark cloud. That series had left a scar on the franchise. The players sitting on the bench looked dejected, their expressions a mix of frustration and despair. The weight of expectations and the fear of failure were heavy burdens to bear. The Warriors were a team in turmoil, their confidence shaken, and their resolve tested. It was a moment of truth, a test of their character and resilience. They were determined not to let history repeat itself. The players huddled together, their faces set with determination. The coach gave an inspiring speech, urging them to rise above the past and seize the moment. It was a rallying cry, a call to arms. The Warriors knew what was at stake, and they were ready to fight. The stage was set for an epic showdown, a battle of wills between two determined teams. For the Rockets, a win would etch their names in the NBA history books. This wasn't just another game, it was a chance to cement their legacy. The Rockets had faced adversity before, but this was different. The stakes were higher, the pressure more intense. Every player knew that a victory here would be remembered for generations. Overcoming a 3-1 deficit is a rare feat. It requires not just skill, but resilience, determination, and a bit of luck. The Rockets had shown all these qualities throughout the season, but now they needed to summon them once more. Only 13 teams in NBA history had achieved it. Each of those teams had their own story of grit and glory, and now the Rockets had a chance to join that elite group. The weight of history was palpable, but it was also a source of inspiration. But the Rockets had a chance to do something even more extraordinary. They were on the brink of becoming the first team ever to accomplish this 3 times. This was not just about winning a game. It was about making history in a way that no other team had done before. The players could feel the weight of this potential achievement. They knew that their names would be spoken of in reverence if they could pull off this incredible feat. The city of Houston was behind them, and the energy was electric. The weight of history was also heavy on the Warriors, but for different reasons. They were defending champions, and the pressure to maintain their dominance was immense. Every game was a test of their legacy, and this one was no different. Stephen Curry, the heart and soul of the Warriors dynasty, was on the verge of another historic Game 7 performance. Known for his clutch plays and incredible shooting, Curry was the player everyone was watching. He had already proven himself time and again, but this game was another opportunity to showcase his greatness. Fans and analysts alike were eager to see if Curry could rise to the occasion once more. Curry thrives when the pressure is at its highest. His ability to stay calm and focused in critical moments is what sets him apart from other players. This game was another chance for him to demonstrate why he is considered one of the greatest of all time. He already held the record for most points in an NBA Finals Game 7 with 53 against the Boston Celtics in 2022. That performance was legendary, and it set the bar for what he could achieve in high-stakes situations. With the world watching, Curry had the chance to add another chapter to his storied career. The anticipation was building, and everyone was wondering if he could deliver another signature performance. Could he deliver another signature performance? The stage was set, the players were ready, and history was on the line. Both teams knew that this game would be remembered for years to come, and they were prepared to give it their all. Curry was facing an uphill battle. The Rockets' defense, energized by the roaring home crowd, was swarming him on every possession. They were determined to make life difficult for the two-time MVP. Double teams and physicality were the order of the day. Despite the stifling defense, Curry was still Curry. He weaved through defenders, his handle as tight as ever. He launched those iconic rainbow three-pointers, even with a hand in his face. But this Game 7 was proving to be a grind. Every shot was contested, every possession was a battle. The Warriors were also dealing with a significant absence. Gary Payton II, their defensive stalwart, was sidelined with an illness. Payton had been instrumental in the Warriors' early series lead, locking down the Rockets' perimeter players. His absence was sorely felt. The Rockets' guards, sensing an opportunity, were attacking the basket with renewed aggression. The Warriors' defense, normally a well-oiled machine, seemed just a step slow. Payton's defensive energy and intensity were sorely missed. The game was a back-and-forth affair. Neither team could gain a significant advantage. The lead changed hands multiple times. The Rockets, fueled by their youthful exuberance, were winning the battle of energy. They were quicker to loose balls. They were out-hustling the veteran Warriors. One area where the Rockets were particularly effective was on the offensive glass. They were relentless in their pursuit of rebounds, giving themselves second and third opportunities. The Warriors, missing Payton's tenacity, struggled to keep up. As the clock ticked down in the fourth quarter, the tension in the Toyota Center was almost unbearable. The Rockets, clinging to a slim lead, were on the verge of a historic comeback. The crowd was deafening, urging their young team toward the finish line. But the Warriors, as they have done so many times before, refused to panic. They had been here before. They knew what it took to win on the biggest stage, and in the biggest moments, their championship DNA shone through. With the game on the line, it was Curry who stepped up. He hit a series of clutch shots, silencing the Rockets' crowd. Draymond Green, the Warriors' emotional leader, made crucial defensive plays. Klay Thompson, despite struggling for much of the game, hit a dagger three-pointer that seemed to suck the air out of the arena. When the final buzzer sounded, the Warriors had escaped with a hard-fought victory. The final score: Warriors 103, Rockets 100. The Rockets' dream of a historic comeback had fallen just short. The Warriors, battle-tested and resilient, had proven once again why they are one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history. The Warriors, battered but not broken, moved on to the Western Conference semifinals. They would face the Minnesota Timberwolves, a young and hungry team eager to make their own mark on the playoffs. But for now, the Warriors could savor this hard-fought victory. The Rockets, despite the heartbreaking loss, had a lot to be proud of. They had pushed the defending champions to the brink. They had shown the league that they were a team on the rise. Their time would come.